7 days in a week. It's one of the few things we all have in common. From there, we all head in different directions regarding how we see and spend those 7 days. Some people devour them. They wring every ounce out of each day, enjoying every minute as though it just may be their last. Whether they're working or playing doesn't matter. They're just happy to be alive, and they're the exception to the rule. Most everyone else, the clear majority of the people you encounter each day, make up the rule. They split their 7 days into two categories: work and home. Work is the necessary evil required to survive and pay the bills, and home, or any place other than work, is the place they long to be. Some people question how we ever got to the point of allocating 5 days to business and 2 days for ourselves. Some researchers identify the ancient Sabbath as the origin of the current so-called weekend, with the day before Sunday needed at home to make preparations for a proper observance of the Sabbath the next day. Others believe it was an attempt by labor unions to accommodate Jewish workers who took Saturday instead of Sunday as their Sabbath. And according to a few of my friends, Saturday is required to get everything together to watch sports on Sunday. Regardless of how we got here, the precedent is set. Most full-time jobs require 5 days of work during the week, with 2 days off for the weekend. And although this makes work a significant part of life, most people don't like to work. They don't like their job. They don't like their boss. They don't like their colleagues. As a result, most people don't want to be there. Numerous studies support it. According to the Gallup organization, 3 out of 4 people are at some level of disengagement. 1 out of 4 is productive and wants to be at work, and the rest dominate the workplace with their waiting. They're waiting for the weekend. They're waiting for vacation. They're waiting for Friday. They're waiting for a boss to make them happy. They're waiting for a promotion, and every single week, they're living for the weekend. It doesn't take a mathematician to figure out the numbers are against those who live for the weekend. With 7 days in a week, disengaged employees spend 5 days staring at a clock in hopes the 2 days at the end of the week can bring them enough joy to sustain them until the next weekend. I have spent many years of my life addressing the challenge of employee disengagement. In my first book, Engaged Leadership, I addressed the leader's responsibility to create a culture where employees want to work. Managers certainly have a motive to create this type of culture, and with the proper focus and support, they can do it. But the reality is it's not their only focus, and some will be better at it than others. In order for a culture of engagement to truly develop, employees have a responsibility to show up with a certain level of personal engagement. Whether we like it or not, employee engagement is a two-way road. Some people question why they should do anything to contribute to a culture of engagement in their professional life. Simply put, our work consumes too much of our time not to find ways to become more engaged. We can sit around and wait for the perfect job to come along. We can sit around and wait for the perfect boss to come along. Or we can do the best with what we have. Some employers are taking risks and trying to alter the 5 days of business, 2 days of pleasure model. They've lengthened 4 days of the work week and provided for 3-day weekends. Some are using technology to allow more flexibility regarding when work is performed. But for many others in the workplace today, the 5 days of business, 2 days of pleasure model isn't changing anytime soon. So, what can we do about that? We can change how we view our professional life and personal life coming together. Instead of breaking our 7 days into work and home, we can examine how the following 5 aspects must all weave together: career, relationships, health, finances, and spirituality.